Good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are diving into the book. We're actually going to talk about the power of habits. We're diving into habit number 1, focusing on listening. How do we get to our dreams? How do we accomplish goals? How do we see this vision board come to pass? We're going to focus on a lot of things. So, as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? And what are you loving about the book? I'm in a different spot because first of all, anybody work out this morning? I already got my workout done. Hence, if you're brand new to the page, first of all, if you're brand new, post new below. I would love to say hi and help you with your goals. Second of all, just so you know, that's why I look like this, because I work out every morning. And then I come and talk to you. So, how's your morning going? Where are you tuning in from? I'm tuning in from Minnesota. Yesterday was a rainy day. Today is a beautiful sunny day. We have 4 daughters. We homeschool by choice. I love to read. I love to help people on their keto, low-carb journey. Not everybody's journey is the same. Everybody is different, so you've got to figure out what works best for your body. And so we talk about a lot of things here on the page, lots. So whether it is recipes or keto tips or tricks or different things you're looking for, every morning, we talk about mindset, we talk about books, we talk about why it's important to read. I'm going to actually mention all of these books today. We've already gone through these 2. We're going to go through this one in October. But the one we're currently going through is the one that we're creating a vision board. Oftentimes, you'll hear people say, let's create a vision board. You do it in the beginning of the year. And then by February, you forget what you put on your vision board. So I just said, listen, we're not going to wait till January 1st, 2022, we're going to create it right now, right? So that's what we've been doing. We've been talking about what it means to create a vision board, what goals look like, how do we write these things down, and then how do we see them come to pass, right? So I'd love to know, what is one goal you are putting on your vision board? What are you putting on your board? I want you to share. I wrote a whole bunch of different things, but on my board, one of them is to write a book or do a podcast. I already have the name. Every day I'm like, oh, I've got to start this. So I have to start it. It's on my board. I also have our family, my husband and I have some financial goals. We have some investment goals we want to accomplish on there. We have some travel goal. We have just lots of different things and dreams, right? Goals and dreams. What is one thing, even if you don't have your board created, even if you're brand new and you're like, what in the world? What is one thing you would put on a board? And I would challenge you, something that could be accomplished if you followed a SMART system in the next 12 to 18 months. So this is the book we're going through right now. If you're following along page by page, we are on page 116. And we already went through a little bit of that chapter yesterday. What chapter are we on? Let's look. All right, we're on chapter 9, but we're a few pages in. And we already talked about the power of the people that you're around. We've created a list of things you wanted to go through if you've been actually following along in the book. We've talked about, yesterday we talked about routines, which I'm going to talk about some books that we talked about earlier this summer. But basically she says you're going to have to be patient once you have your board created. Be patient and consistently visually focused on your board, and we're writing down the goals that you want and speaking it out, right? So she says here's some habits you're going to have to create as your board is done and as we're going to go through and see these boards come to pass. Now, some of you have not started your board. We can do that at the end of this book. We'll be done with this book by next week. And then I'll walk you through how to create the board. But she says, habit number 1. So as you're creating your board, as you're seeing it through, something that you really have to focus on is your mindset. She said, habit number 1 is focusing on listening. We're on page 116. So she says, the first habit to adapt into your new routine or into a routine is the habit of listening. She says to faith-based building, motivational teachings, I would say anything that inspires you, but inspiration can be different, right? There are things that might inspire you, but they still can make you angry. you really have to pay attention to your emotions, something that's going to build up your faith, right? Something that's going to build you up as a person. And so you've got to find people that you can watch that will build you up, make you believe in yourself, not temporary motivation, but true inspiration. There's a difference, right? Motivation is temporary. Yes, I can do that. I go and do it. I don't know how to keep myself going. Inspiration should consistently build you up, and then eventually you should be able to inspire yourself, right? Because you're going to take what you learn, you're going to put it in here, you're going to put it in here, and then you're going to take action on that inspiration. Does that make sense? So, excuse me. This very well could be the missing ingredient that you need to see your dreams come to pass. She talks a lot about building the muscle of faith. How are you going to look at your vision board, and how are you going to keep going after those goals and those dreams? You've got to have faith. How do you have faith? You've got to build it up. How do you build it up? You listen and you read. You listen and you read. So the second goal we'll talk about tomorrow is the power of reading, but she says you have to focus on listening. Listening to the people around you, or changing the people that you're listening to. She says, her name is Terri Savelle. Super, super fun. You can follow her online. She says, I became a woman on a quest to build my faith as quickly as possible. She started following certain people. She says, building your faith is a choice, just as building your muscles. So if you get up and you work out and you work on your food and you've got that down, then you get to work on building your mindset, right? Building your faith, watching the people that you're following, because that is also like building a muscle. If this isn't built up, I talk about it all the time, everything else could easily fall to the wayside because your mindset is not on track. As you listen to people, your faith will grow. As you listen to faith-based or people that inspire you, people that I'll give you an example. She says this, let's not waste any more time. This is super interesting. So listen, if there's anything you listen to this and see if you fall into this trap. Studies have shown that the average American watches more than 5 hours of television every single day. It's a lot. That means that by the time you are 60 years old, you have wasted 15 years of your life glued to the box. There's a lot of things I think about the television. Lots of things. One of the things is just think of the word television. It's telling you what you should believe. Television. If you are so glued to that box, this box that's behind me, can you see it? That one. And you're believing everything that it says, then you're letting it control your mind. Do not be one of those people that wastes 15 years of their life having that thing tell you what to do or what to believe. So which is fine, if you have the awareness that you're spending too much time in front of the television, it's time to shut that thing down and start reading and listening to other things besides the crazy news, right? Fake news, we don't need to watch that. So the average American is watching television shows also. So then there's the question of like, what are you watching that they have no interest in, that are not building their faith? Gossip, terrible things, like what you're listening to and what you're watching, is that building your faith? Is that helping you grow? I'm on Facebook and TikTok, and you can't see the TV, but it's behind me over here. So then I have to say, well, what are you watching? Is it legitimately growing you, or is it making you feel disgusted, or is it making you become a better person, right? I'm just asking. I have no idea what you watch, clearly. The average person sleeps 30 minutes too late every day. The average person, 18 to 34 years old, spends nearly 4 hours a day on social media. If you're desperate for change, you'll take desperate steps to change. Ooh, that's good. That's good. If you're desperate to change, you'll take desperate steps to change, which means fake news comes off, television goes away. Sorry. It's fine to be on social media because I actually learned from a lot of people on social media, but don't just mindlessly scroll. I go to engage with my team. There's certain people I encourage. There's certain people I watch to learn from, and then I'm done. So maybe you're like, jeepers, creepers. All right, well, It's exactly what she says. When you're desperate for change, you'll take desperate measures to change, right? Nothing comes easy. Even like mindset, it takes time. It takes extra time to get up, to move your body, to read. Somebody asked me yesterday, how are you getting so much reading in? And I'm like, I get up early. I get up. My husband, even this morning, my husband comes in, he's like, are you ready to get up? And I'm like, yep. Like I know what time I have to be up. I'm upstairs by 6 a.m. to work out. But I always push it a little bit. I kind of roll over and I and ha. Yes, I'm going to get up. I have a time I have to get up. But I still do it, right? So she says, Entrepreneur Magazine conducted a study on wealthy people versus poor people. That's just what she uses as a comparison. And she says, wake up 3 hours early before work. 44% of wealthy people, 3% of poor people. And they had distinctions of what wealthy meant and what poor meant. And she says, listens to audiobooks during their commute. 63% of wealthy people, 5% of poor people. Who reads 30 minutes or more every day? 80% of wealthy people, 2% of poor people. Who exercises at least 4 times a week? 4 times a day a week. 4 times a day. 4 times a week. Sorry, weird. 76% of wealthy people, 23% of poor people. My dogs are going crazy, sorry. Who watches reality TV? 7% of the wealthy people, 78% of the poor people. Who believes good habits create opportunity? 80%, hey, Ranger. 80% of the wealthy, 4% poor. Does this make sense? You follow the habits of the successful. And successful doesn't have to be based on money. It's just what they evaluated it at. But if you want something in life, the bottom line is this: successful people have adapted successful habits, right? She says this somewhere. Oh, I thought I underlined it. If you want to be successful, study successful people. If you want to be rich, study the rich. If you want to be skinny, study the people that are skinny. Study the people that are in shape. Basically, the bottom line is this: what you are wanting, the goals that you are wanting to achieve, you study the people that have already done it, right? We talked about being like the 5 people that you surround yourself with. If they are all either working towards the same goals with you but haven't successfully accomplished them, they can do this with you. They can go on the journey with you, but you've got to find somebody else that has already done it. So like in our business, we follow, we learn from, we take advice from people that have already done it. I have people that are alongside of me that are going with me, right? But I'm learning from them as they do things, as they fail and as they learn, and we all learn together, but I'm not usually taking a ton of, I'm not taking advice a lot from them. I'm learning with them and growing. I'm taking advice from the person who's already done it, who's already walked through the minefield, and I'm following them, and I'm learning faster and going further because they've already done it, and I don't have to step on the landmines, right? I can go over them because they said, don't do that. Nope, don't do that. Go around that. So when you follow somebody that's already done it, guess what? You can go further faster. Unless you decide you're going to go with the 5 people like your best friends you're around and you're all trying to do it by yourselves, you might fail a lot more. Failing isn't bad. The only way you fail is if you quit. If you all quit, well, then there's a problem, right? So here's the deal. As you listen to powerful words, inspiration, following certain people, something begins to change in you. Your faith begins to grow. Develop your own plan for a personal growth by starting with a routine of listening. Experts suggest that you must listen to something 16 times before it finally takes root. 16 times. You guys, I listen sometimes to the same messages, the same books, read the same chapters over and over again until I get it in me. It takes 16 times of hearing something before you finally do it. Maybe do it, right? I can promise you this, that at the end of, so she did a 21 day, I'm going to listen to somebody for 21 days. I'm going to listen to this podcast for 21 days. And she says, I didn't want to stop listening. And so she's like, that's why I always listen. I listen to people. So these few pages, 116 to 120, is on listening. Who are you listening to? What's guiding you? Or what do you need to stop watching? And take either that 5 hours of TV a day, take the extra 30 minutes and get up early and read. Stop wasting time. Where are you wasting time? People often say to me, I don't have time. I don't have time. You choose what you make time for. You choose what you spend your time on. So let's evaluate your day. Figure out, like, you've got a 30-minute commute. That's incredible. Are you kidding? You can listen to 30 minutes of an Audible book. I'm guessing all of you shower, or ladies, you put on your makeup. Like, your morning routine of even the hustle and bustle. Pop in an earbud. I prop my phone up in the shower and I listen. I prop my phone up on the counter and I listen. I get up early before my kids get up and I listen and I read. You have time, even 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. You don't have to sit in front of this book for an hour. It took me 10 minutes to go through those 3 pages. You have time for what you make time for, right? So that's what we're talking about. We say, I love this phrase, as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have, right? As I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have. Super powerful. These are the books we went through this summer. They talk about habits. They talk about the morning. She's talking about creating a routine. If you've not read this book, it's super powerful. The Miracle Morning. This book is incredible. We went through this book in June, Atomic Habits. Go through it, take notes, and take action. Take action. Read. Work on your mindset. Anything that you want to accomplish is going to take discipline and time. But if you actually put in the work, it will work. If you put in the work, it will work. We're going to go through this book in October. It's going to change your life. Super great. Otherwise, we're going through this. Put in the work. All right. As I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. Get your eyes off of this television and let's put in the work. So I hope that's helpful. Tomorrow we're going to keep going. We'll create the vision boards by next week and then we'll keep going. So if you don't have to be where I'm at in the book, just so you know, the point is to read a couple pages and put it into action. The point is to read a couple pages and start dreaming. You don't have to be where I'm at. We're going to keep moving. Work at your own pace. I just want to encourage you to do something. So I hope you're loving it. At the beginning of the live, I asked for you to share one dream, one goal, one vision that would be on your board. I'd love for you to post that below. Share. What is one thing you're dreaming about, you're praying about, you're hoping for, you're going to put on your board, you're writing down? It doesn't have to come to pass in the next couple months, in the next year to 18 months. What is it? So I want to read one thing that you're dreaming for. That's it. I hope you have an incredible morning. Reach out with any questions you have. I'm always here to help, and we'll talk to you soon.